You've seen the demos. Type a few words into a prompt box, and a blank screen blooms into a fully realized photorealistic city in seconds. The output quality in 2026 is impressive. Midjourney V8 delivers lighting and texture details that hold up to professional scrutiny. It is easy to assume your entire production pipeline is now solved, but generating a beautiful standalone image is very different from managing a visual pipeline at scale. The hidden friction starts the moment you try to use these tools for actual business. You'll hit usage throttles on a Wednesday afternoon, burn through monthly budgets on the wrong subscription tiers, or inadvertently feed unreleased client IP into a public gallery. This is what the modern workflow looks like. The path from needing a visual asset to securing one branches into dozens of technical and financial choices. You have to navigate platforms, tiers, and privacy settings before you ever type a prompt. We're going to cut through the marketing. We'll break down the mathematical costs of these platforms, compare their actual utility, and map the exact paths you need to take. Managing AI in 2026 requires the same rigor as any professional software stack, with specific technical trade-offs at every level. To understand how these tools operate today, you have to look at how they were built. Early models reached this level of quality by ingesting the work of contemporary human artists, mapping their visual signatures without permission. This triggered intense professional backlash and organized labor movements across the creative industries. Artists realized their life's work was used to train the software intended to compete with them. Beyond the courtroom, artists are now deploying a technical defense called Glaze to protect their online portfolios. Glaze applies a mathematical cloak to an image. To a human eye, it looks completely normal. But when an AI model attempts to scrape that file, the data vibrates and corrupts. It ingests a chaotic mess of pixels instead. This defense is effective. When a model trains on cloaked images, it fails to replicate the targeted artist over 92% of the time. The protection remains high, even if an artist only manages to cloak a quarter of their portfolio. Even with 75% of a gallery left unprotected, Glaze still maintains an 87% success rate in breaking the AI's mimicry. Most artists find the trade-off acceptable. They admit some minor texture noise into their public uploads to secure their intellectual property. Because of this, prompts that ask for an image in the style of a specific artist are an ethically dubious strategy. The underlying training data is actively being defended. Your first major workflow path is ChatGPT+, driven by the GPT-4o model. ChatGPT excels at structural logic. It understands spatial awareness, where objects sit in relation to one another, and it can accurately render specific text inside an image. If you ask for a sign with a specific phrase, you get it. However, you trade away granular control. You cannot isolate specific elements, lock in aesthetics, or maintain a consistent style across multiple generations. You are limited to what the chatbot provides. The alternative is Midjourney V8, utilizing its dedicated web-based editor. Midjourney provides professional composition tools. Its editor allows you to isolate regions with smart selection, add external images as layers, and retexture specific areas while keeping the original structure. This matrix compares the two platforms across 4 vectors: text accuracy, spatial awareness, fine control, and the overall ecosystem. This matrix shows ChatGPT handling the structural and literal requirements on the left, while Midjourney provides the deep editing tools for professional composition on the right. Users must choose between absorbing the friction of manual control for high-fidelity results or prioritizing conversational speed for simple assets. If you choose Midjourney, you have to understand GPU hours. This is the internal currency the platform uses to bill your account, and it is a common source of confusion. One fast GPU hour does not equal 1 hour of your time spent working. It is a measure of server processing power. Under default settings, 1 GPU hour yields about 60 images. The math changes when you use Midjourney V8's premium features. Activating the HD or high-quality parameters requires significantly more server power, and your account is billed accordingly. This chart tracks a standard monthly allowance. Generating an HD costs 4 times the normal GPU rate. Maxing out the quality parameter costs another 4 times. Run them together and you drain your allowance 16 times faster per generation. Leaving those high-end settings on by default will bankrupt a monthly subscription in days, bringing your production to a halt. Let's look at the pricing. The $10 a month basic plan gives you 3.3 fast hours. That is roughly 200 standard images. Once you hit that 200 image cap, you are locked out until your next billing cycle. Because there is no overflow option, this tier is not viable for reliable business use. The $30 a month standard plan is where professional utility begins. It offers 15 fast hours, but the key feature here is Relax Mode. Relax Mode uses idle servers. It takes a few minutes longer during peak hours, but it is unlimited. It eliminates the risk of a workflow stoppage, allowing you to draft in relax mode and save your fast hours for final renders. However, the standard plan has a major flaw for agencies. Every image you generate is automatically published to Midjourney's public gallery for other members to see. If you are working on unreleased client campaigns, public exposure is a breach of contract. That work must stay private. To access stealth mode and hide your images from the public gallery, you must upgrade to the $60 a month Pro plan. The $30 plan is the baseline for solo use, while the $60 plan is a requirement for agencies needing client confidentiality. Let's map these realities to specific user profiles. First, the time-poor optimizer. You are a marketer or founder who needs decent assets quickly. Use ChatGPT+. You value exact text generation and conversational speed over absolute aesthetic perfection. Second, the solo professional or e-commerce operator. You need high volume and consistent quality. You need the Midjourney $30 standard plan. Rely on relax mode for all your drafting and iteration to protect your budget for final renders. Finally, the performance-first agency or design team. This checklist summarizes the recommendations. For agencies, the Midjourney $60 Pro plan is required. Absolute client confidentiality via stealth mode is a necessity. One universal rule for all. Avoid specific artist names in prompts. Use descriptive style references instead. Adapting to these specific technical, financial, and ethical constraints is the only path to a sustainable AI workflow in 2026.